in command here? You are, sir! Reversing! He's still in this fight! No, Ryan, get down!
The movie opens with a scene where we see an elderly man standing near a grave. He suddenly breaks down and starts crying. From this moment, the story begins to unfold. The timeline shifts back to June 6, 1944, during World War II. The setting is a battlefield where the U.S. Army arrives at Omaha Beach to launch an attack against the Germans. But even before the U.S. Army attacked, the Germans attacks them. The situation is extremely dangerous. American casualties start rising rapidly, and the soldiers find themselves almost helpless. German defenders are strong. Despite this, they do not lose courage. Without giving up, they keep pushing forward. During this, many soldiers lose their lives. Finally, through sheer bravery and smart tactics, the American forces succeed in capturing Omaha Beach. However, this victory comes at a very high cost. The shoreline is covered with the bodies of countless American soldiers. Among these fallen soldiers, there is also a man named Sean Ryan. Meanwhile, back in the United States, Army officers review records and discover a tragic truth. The Ryan brothers, 4 siblings, were all serving in the war. Out of the 4, 3 brothers have already died in combat. Only one brother, James Ryan, is still alive. Army officers visit the family home to deliver this heartbreaking news to their mother. As she hears about the deaths of her sons, she is completely shattered, emotionally broken by the loss. Meanwhile, at the U.S. Army headquarters, 3 senior Army officers arrive to meet the Army Chief of Staff. They begin discussing the case of the Ryan brothers. After careful consideration, a decision is made. The Army will send a special team to find the last surviving brother, James Ryan, and bring him back safely. The reason is simple, so that at least one son can return home to take care of his mother, who has already lost 3 sons in the war. At first, some Army officers strongly oppose this decision. They argue that risking the lives of several soldiers to save just one man does not make sense. To explain his point, General George C. Marshall pulls out a letter from his pocket and begins to read it aloud. There was a speech written by Abraham Lincoln to the mother of a fallen soldier. In the letter, Lincoln apologizes, saying that he failed to protect her son and asks for forgiveness. He acknowledges the immense sacrifice made not just by one soldier, but by an entire family for their country. Through this letter, the Army chief wants to make it clear that the sacrifice of a family is just as important as the sacrifice of a soldier.
We are going to send somebody to find him. And we are going to get him to hell.
So, a mission is assigned to find James Ryan. Captain Miller is chosen to lead the operation. He selects some of the best soldiers for this dangerous mission. The team includes a sharpshooter, a map reader, a translator, and several experienced combat soldiers. Led by Captain Miller, the team begins its journey, crossing mountains and valleys, moving deeper into enemy territory. During the march, one soldier questions the mission and says,
where's the sense of risking the lives of the 8 of us to save one guy?
Another soldier replies that if he were given a single bullet and placed a mile away from Adolf Hitler, he could end the entire war with that one shot. At this point, the background of the war is mentioned. World War II had already begun, led by Germany in alliance with Italy, under the control of the Nazi Party, whose leader was Adolf Hitler. Hearing all this, Captain Miller calmly responds. He says that if he were in their place as a ranger, he would look at the positive side. He asks them to think about James Ryan's mother, a woman who has already lost all her sons except one. Her only remaining hope is still alive. After this conversation, the team continues forward and eventually reaches an area where German soldiers are present, and danger awaits them ahead. There, one of the soldiers from Captain Miller's team is suddenly shot and killed by a German sniper firing from a building. Reacting quickly, one of Captain Miller's most skilled soldiers cleverly spots the sniper and shoots him dead. Despite this, the team suffers a loss. One of their men dies, and soon after, another intense firefight breaks out with German soldiers. The team manages to kill several enemy soldiers. and with heavy hearts, they continue moving forward. Eventually, they reach a battalion where they finally find James Ryan. Captain Miller informs him that,
So I'll just say it, your brothers are dead.
hearing this news, Ryan is devastated. He becomes emotional and says that his brothers were just students living normal lives before the war took everything away. When asked his name, he tells them his full name. His name is James Frederick Ryan. It turns out that this is not the correct Ryan. Because of this mistake, the search for the real James Ryan begins again. Captain Miller and his team move forward once more. As night falls, they take shelter inside a building to rest. For the first time in a while, they get a moment of peace. During this break, the soldiers talk among themselves, sharing stories about their homes, families, childhood memories, and the happy moments they once spent with their parents. After midnight, the team resumes their journey, heading toward the next town. However, when they arrive, they do not find any useful information. Soon after, they encounter a ranger who had landed in the same area earlier with his unit. He tells them which direction they should go next.
To babysit a bridge! That's the last I seen of him, sir!
Great! Thank you, right, thank you.
The team joins forces and continues moving forward together. As they move forward, they begin to realize that the path ahead is extremely dangerous and that German forces could easily kill and wipe out U.S. soldiers. Sensing something is wrong, the Rangers refuse to move forward. They stop and say that the situation does not feel right and danger is clearly ahead. The soldiers suggest that they should wait for air support. In response, Captain Miller asks a powerful question.
When was the last time you felt good about anything?
He reminds them that soldiers are born to sacrifice. With this belief, Captain Miller moves forward, and the rest of the team follows him without hesitation. Using grenades, they manage to destroy a German machine gun post. However, during the attack, one of their soldiers is badly wounded and later dies. By now, 2 soldiers have been killed, and only 6 members of the team remain alive. As they move ahead, they capture a German soldier who is still alive. They stop for a while and dig a grave to bury their dead ranger. Everyone is deeply saddened by his death. Now comes a difficult decision. Should they kill the German soldier or let him go? One of the soldiers insists that he should be released. He argues that the man is innocent and that killing him would be wrong, especially because he had developed a sense of sympathy toward him. Eventually, they blindfold the German soldier and tell him to walk straight ahead, warning him not to turn back.
To march 1,000 paces in that direction.
Some members of the team are furious about this decision. They question why they spared an enemy after losing their own men. Captain Miller responds calmly. He explains that their duty is to complete the mission and follow orders. He motivates the team and reminds them why they are here. Re-energized, the team moves forward once again. Suddenly, they are attacked by heavy gunfire. They are confused about where the shots are coming from. Soon, a German tank appears, and when its soldiers step out, Captain Miller's team opens fire and kills them. At the same time, another American battalion rises from hiding in the grass. Among them is James Ryan. Seeing him, the entire team feels relieved and happy. Their mission has finally succeeded. They have found their target, James Francis Ryan. James Ryan and his battalion's captain take Captain Miller and his team to their position.
Your brothers were killed in combat.
Captain Miller tells him the truth that his 3 brothers have died. Hearing this, Ryan is completely broken. He then asks if they really came all this way just to deliver this news. He explains that these orders have come from the highest authority and that Ryan is being sent home to take care of his mother. After a brief silence, Ryan responds by apologizing and saying that he has responsibilities toward his battalion. He explains that enemy tanks are expected to attack the next morning and that they are already short on soldiers. He adds that if he leaves, they will lose 1 more man, the position will fall, and if the bridge is lost, the nearby village will fall into German hands, something he says he cannot allow to happen. Seeing Ryan's courage and sense of responsibility, Captain Miller is deeply impressed. After thinking for a while, he decides that his team will stay and fight alongside Ryan and his battalion. They will defeat the Germans first and then take Ryan home. Captain Miller takes command of the defense and assigns everyone their roles. They learn that 3 tanks and around 50 German soldiers will attack them the next morning. Captain Miller teaches them how to make improvised sticky bombs, a special explosive used by Rangers in desperate situations. Together, they prepare these weapons. However, the battalion warns that they are short on ammunition. Captain Miller then creates a smart plan. They will lure the enemy into a trap, dividing their soldiers between 2 buildings, while he stays in the middle, allowing them to attack the Germans from 3 sides. That evening, James Ryan and Captain Miller talk quietly. Ryan talks about his family. He says he can barely remember his brothers' faces because he hasn't seen them in years. He also struggles to remember his mother's face clearly. Captain Miller tells him not to focus on faces, but to remember the beautiful moments he shared with them. Ryan recalls how he used to have fun with his brothers and how he was the youngest and most mischievous among them. Ryan then asks Captain Miller about his own family. Miller avoids details and simply says,
No, that one I saved just for me.
The next morning, the German attack begins. Enemy soldiers advance from multiple directions. The fighting becomes extremely intense. Many German soldiers are killed, but the Americans also suffer losses. From a damaged building, a sniper opens fire, killing several enemy soldiers. However, one of the enemy tanks detects his position and blows up the building, killing the sniper instantly. Meanwhile, German soldiers enter another damaged building and begin killing several American soldiers. The map reader, Upham, remains frozen with fear, as he has never experienced combat before. Soon after, another tank shell strikes the building, and Captain Miller is grievously wounded. Later, gathering his courage, Upham captures a German soldier. One of them turns out to be the same man who had earlier been released while blindfolded. The German soldier begs for forgiveness, but Upham shoots and kills him. Captain Miller, gravely wounded, knows he is dying. With his final strength, he orders the remaining soldiers to retreat. At the last moment, American fighter planes arrive, destroying the German tanks and turning defeat into victory. As Captain Miller lies dying, he looks at Ryan and whispers his final words.
James. Earn this.
With that, he takes his last breath. The loss hits everyone deeply, especially James Ryan. Later, the Army chief delivers a motivational speech, telling the soldiers they are returning home with honor. They fought bravely, and they won. The story then returns to the opening scene. The old man at the grave is revealed to be James Ryan. He is now married, with children and grandchildren standing beside him. Standing before Captain Miller's grave, Ryan asks his wife,
Tell me I have led a good life.
His wife nods silently, and with that, the story comes to an end. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell.